The most destructive lie a man will ever tell is not the one he tells to the world. It is the one he tells to the man in the mirror. You look at your life, and deep down, you know you are underperforming. You know you are entirely capable of more. But instead of facing the agonizing reality of your own laziness, you build a fortress of excuses. You tell yourself a comforting story. You say, I am smart, I just haven't applied myself yet. You say, I could be rich if I actually tried, but I just don't care about money. You blame the economy. You blame your boss. You blame your circumstances. You create a magnificent, elaborate fiction where you are the unrecognized genius, the sleeping giant who is just waiting for the perfect moment to wake up. It is time to wake up. Not to greatness, but to reality. Welcome to the next level of the silent grind. Today, we practice radical honesty. We're going to strip away the delusions that protect your ego. Because your ego is the exact thing keeping you broke, out of shape, and irrelevant. The human brain is a master of self-preservation. When the gap between who you want to be and who you actually are becomes too painful, your brain does not automatically choose to work harder. It chooses to lie. It rationalizes your failures. It lowers the bar so that your mediocrity feels like a success. You watch videos about discipline, you read quotes about stoicism, and you feel a fake sense of accomplishment. You borrow the glory of great men without doing a single drop of their work. You are wearing a mask of competence over a face of pure laziness. But the world does not care about your inner narrative. The world does not care about what you could do. If you are not producing results, you are not a sleeping giant. You are just a man who is failing. Smart but lazy is just a polite way of saying useless. Until you can look at your life with absolute, uncompromising disgust, you will never change. The truth is cold. The truth is brutal. But the truth is the only foundation solid enough to build an empire on. It is time to drop the mask. It is time to look at the wreckage. To stop lying to yourself, you must remove emotion from the equation. Emotion is the language of excuses. Mathematics is the language of truth. It is time to conduct a brutal audit of your existence. Men lie. Bank accounts do not. Mirrors do not. Screen time logs do not. You say you are a hard worker, but look at your output over the last 90 days. What have you actually built? What have you actually produced? You say you are disciplined, but your phone shows 7 hours of daily screen time spent consuming garbage. You say you want to be dangerous, but you have not lifted a heavy weight in months. Stop using adjectives to describe your life. I am trying hard. I am doing my best. I am making progress. These are soft, subjective words designed to stroke your ego. They are invisible blankets you wrap around yourself to stay warm in your mediocrity. Replace adjectives with metrics. How much money is in your account? What is your body fat percentage? How many hours did you focus today without a single distraction? How many pages did you write? When you look at the raw data, the illusion completely shatters. The numbers will stare back at you with cold, absolute indifference. They do not care about your anxiety. They do not care about how tired you feel. They only reflect what you have executed in the physical world. For most of you, this audit will be devastating. You will look at the numbers and realize that your best is actually an embarrassing level of failure. You will realize that you are operating at 10% of your actual capacity. Good. Let it hurt. The pain of this realization is the exact fire required to forge your new foundation. You cannot fix a problem until you accurately measure the depth of the hole you are standing in. You cannot plot a course to the summit if you refuse to admit that you are currently at the absolute bottom. Accept the zero. Accept the failure. It is the most liberating confession a man can make. Once you stop protecting your fake reputation, you can finally start building a real one. You have probably been told your entire life that you have potential. Teachers, parents, and friends looked at you and said you were naturally gifted. They said you were destined for great things. And you believed them. You wore that word like a badge of honor. You let it inflate your ego. Let me tell you the brutal truth. Potential is not a compliment. It is an insult. It is the most toxic concept a man can ever attach to his identity. Why? Because potential simply means you haven't done it yet. It is the mathematical gap between what you are biologically capable of and the absolutely nothing that you have currently achieved. Potential is an unpaid debt to your own existence. But weak men love potential. They love it because it requires zero friction, zero discipline, and zero sacrifice. You can sit on your couch, burning out your dopamine receptors, wasting your life, and still feel a false sense of arrogance because you think you possess some invisible superpower. You walk around acting like a conqueror when your actual territory is zero. You are proud of the ghost of a man you haven't even become yet. Let this sink into your mind. You are not what you could be. You are exactly what you do. A high-performance engine is completely useless if it sits in a rusted chassis inside a garage gathering dust. It does not matter how fast it could go. It only matters what it is currently doing on the asphalt. If you die tomorrow with all your massive potential still locked inside your head, the world will not mourn a misunderstood genius. The world will step over your grave and forget you instantly. History does not record potential. History only records execution. It is time to violently execute the word potential from your vocabulary. You do not have potential. You only have what you built today. You only have the iron you moved, the hours you focused, and the money you generated. Everything else is just a hallucination. When you finally strip away the lies, the excuses, and the toxic burden of potential, you will find yourself standing in a very cold and uncomfortable place. You will be standing at absolute zero. And this is exactly where you need to be. Rock bottom is not a place of defeat. It is a place of undeniable truth. It is the solid bedrock upon which every great empire must be constructed. When you stop defending a fake reputation, you free up all of your cognitive energy to start building a real one. You no longer have an ego to protect. You no longer have an audience to impress. You are simply a man at the bottom of the mountain, looking up, with a cold understanding of exactly how much suffering is required to reach the top. This is the foundation of iron. From this day forward, you do not build your identity on what you plan to do. You build it strictly on undeniable proof. You lay one brick at a time. Today, you focused for 2 hours without distraction. That is one brick. Today, you went to the gym when you were exhausted. That is another brick. You do not need motivation. You do not need inspiration. You only need the raw, mechanical discipline to put the next brick in place day after day, in absolute silence. Let the average men keep their comfortable lies. Let them live in their imaginary castles of potential. You will live in the brutal, unforgiving reality of execution. It will be painful. It will be slow. But when the storms of life inevitably hit, their imaginary castles will be washed away in seconds. Your foundation of iron will not move an inch. As we close this chapter of the silent grind, look in the mirror one last time. Forgive yourself for the time you have wasted, but never lie to yourself again. Accept the zero. Pick up the first brick and get to work. Stay honest, stay brutal, and stay cold.